Good morning. This is Marianne Foreman. Thanks for joining me again with a special guest. This is Clients First. You know, I have to identify my home, my brokerage. I am a realtor with Taylor Properties. Today's guest is Bryce Jackson. He is a senior mortgage originator, and he is with First Home Bank. And he's going to tell us the difference. He's going to educate us the difference between a down payment grant and a down payment loan. And he's also going to talk to us a little bit about who's qualified for these funds. So Bryce, please educate us.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me, Mary. Like I said before, my name is Bryce Jackson. I work for First Home Bank. And you were asking, or we were talking about the difference between a grant and a down payment assistance. A grant is considered a cash grant, meaning that they're giving you the money assets to help you close your loan. That does not have to be repaid back. A down payment assistance is a loan that does have to be paid back. So, of course, the grant is the best vehicle for purchasing in a first-time homebuyer situation. Now, at First Home Bank, we specialize in the first-time homebuyers programs. And with that, one of our main programs we use is called FHLB, which is short for Federal Home Loan Bank. Now, we use the Atlanta region, but there are other regions around the country. The reason I say that is that we can use this grant any county in America. Now, there is $5,000 for the first-time homebuyer, and then $75 for community partners. And the community partners is considered your first responder, your police officers, your healthcare workers, veterans, EMT. They are eligible for $7,500 in cash grants, which can help anyone.
Okay. So $7,500 for first responders and educators, and $5,000. So now you had said something about this is a grant, so that's just money that doesn't have to be repaid, as opposed to some of the programs that have loans that have to be repaid over period. Is there any qualification or phase out on this money for the buyer? How long do they have to stay in their homes?
You do have to stay in for 5 years, but it dissolves 20% a year for 5 years. So if you decide to leave in 2, you can. It's just prorated. For the 2 years that you bought in, and they will charge back the difference, which is great. You know, it's one of those kind of things that people are trying to buy a house. You're looking for some extra money to help you purchase this home. It's a great tool, and it helps people a lot. The only, I guess, the con to it is that it runs out at one point.
Okay, but you still have some money still are in the treasure chest for your bank to lend. And now, that process, when they go, let me just ask you, is there a fixed rate for this program for qualifying buyers?
There is no rate involved. It comes down to how much you make and how many people are in your household. There is no FICO minimum required to this. So as the bank, we can, if needed, we can also offer some lender credit if it's needed to close the loan.
Okay, so it's not locked to a particular interest rate. They just, if they qualify for the money, they get the money.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is correct.
All right. And how long does it take to know whether or not they are going to get the money?
It takes anywhere from 1 to 2 days to 7 to 8 business days. But the application is very smooth compared to the rest of the grant and DPA programs that are available. It's a simple 1-2 page intake application. And once we submit, we would have approval within 2 to 8 days. There is no additional inspections of the house needed. They just need the intake form. And once that's processed, they will basically fund the grant and have the grant waiting for your settlement.
So let me ask you a question, Bryce. How many of these do you have pending right now? I just want to know. As a realtor, I just want to know how many pending commissions.
I have a few. I would say in between 5 and 10 currently right now.
Okay.
This is, we're in the purchase transaction, so a lot of people have been pre-approved and are in the process of looking for homes. And once they do, they would be accessed as money. But with loans in processing, I would say about 5 currently right now.
Okay, so this is the process, because I know we did a number of these. We did a number of these when I first started out. I think we've done most of them. We got this FHLB. I think most of the ones we did, I think.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
So the thing is, it's a race kind of with the buyer to get into a ratified contract and get the loan commitment and get the application sent off by the lender so that the money is reserved for them. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's crucial.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so this isn't some money that is just going to be around for like a year. It goes away, and it usually goes fast.
I mean, typically, I've been doing it for a few years here with the FHLB, and it usually runs out just after the end of summer, early fall. That's how basically it was last. But there's also, once that fund depletes, they'll tell us. But then after, they'll take tallies around the country, and they'll redeposit funds into our account and tell us there's funds available. So technically, it runs out, but there are funds available at periodic times after the fact that you can use and access.
All right. Well, I'm almost out of time. So I just want to make sure that all of the viewers have Bryce Jackson's contact information. It's going to be below the channel. His email will be a hot link, and his telephone number will be there too. And I want to thank Bryce again.
Thank you, Mary.
Over to Clients First. And this will be up probably in the evening, since, May has kind of become a pretty normal working day for me as a realtor. So I'm pretty busy today, and I want to thank Bryce again. And I hope that, Bryce, we can get another deal together soon.
Absolutely.
Take care. And
you too. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again, Mary Ann Foreman with Taylor Properties, Greater Baltimore area. And this was another segment of Clients First.